Hello everyone and welcome to episode 4 of today of the Fast Farm or Best Farm Star Wars Galaxy of Heroes, and we are today going to be looking at one of the OG droids themselves, R2D2 today. Okay, so just a quick rundown for the video of, obviously I'm going to show you with obviously all these potential characters, characters that will get you to 7-star event the fastest, and then a few teams, could be 1, 2 or 3, spoiler alert, it is 3 potential best teams I think for R2D2, to get you to 7-star and to help you with the future of farming in your account. The fastest team is not the best and will have very little play later on, but it is there just if you want to crack through a bunch of characters really fast and get R2D2 as quickly as possible. And that might be something that you do depending on what route you want to take, excuse me, with your account. Okay, and then so obviously we also have to talk about, obviously, raid currency is super important, but it is, you know, not that hard to access the currency that you need. A good guild is obviously most beneficial, but hopefully with some of these mainly is that you don't need to be in a super high level guild getting, you know, 3rd box in the Brew raid or whatever the raid will be later on down the line. But hopefully you can get in a guild that will net you a decent chunk of currency. And obviously the older raids, you know, require less tickets to start, so you don't have to obviously wait as long to get more currency in. And so far we're only looking at raid 1 currency as well. So there's a bunch of characters here to look at for the potential for R2D2's journey. And so we're going to go down here, R2D2, and we're going to start with a kind of an Empire team. It's not an Imperial Trooper team because Tarkin is not an Imperial Trooper, but it obviously is filled out with a bunch of Imperial Troopers. But starting up with Tarkin, Grand Moff Tarkin himself, he will obviously give you the ability with the Executrix to farm up and do the Executrix and dark side chips and stuff. So it's, you know, this is a route that is, you know, fairly decent. You know, it helps you get to where you need to be, and you get given a bunch of dark side chips now at the start, like TIE Bomber and everything. So getting the ability mats challenge done isn't as probably difficult as it used to be, nice and early on. With regards to how long Tarkin will probably take you to farm, nice and quick. We've got 2 places to farm him: Galactic War, nice and easy currency, and top 1000 in Squad Arena gets you 400 currency a day. So you look at 40 shards a day, so you can crack Tarkin out to 7-star in just over 8 days. 8 days and 1 shipment is all you should require. So there we go. That is nice and super quick there. On to the next one is the Snowtrooper. Snowtrooper, again, a bunch of places to farm. The main one being the Galactic War Store. We also have a raid currency here. So this is one that's going to be one of the fastest characters you can farm in the game. It will take you just under 5 days. So, you know, not even a full week if you just get 4 shipments of this for 40 shards a day. Okay, and 3 of this, 30 shards, so that's 70 shards a day for the Snowtrooper. Plus, if it appears in Guild Store and Guild Event Store, you could spend currency on them, but I think with these 2, I think 5 days is quick enough. We do have other characters that need the Galactic War Store currency, so you obviously have the option here that maybe you don't want to spend the Galactic War Store currency on Snowtrooper and you're happy to wait out a little bit longer, because it'll only take you 8.25 days. Sorry, it will take you 11 days, is it, for Galactic War, and yeah, 8.25 for the raid currency. So like the time scales are not particularly good, but you can at least split your time. But Tarkin obviously does require Galactic War Store currency as well. So on to the next one is Magma Trooper. Magma Trooper is only available in Galactic War, so this is what we're talking about, where you have to decide where you're going to do things. It's, the terms of quoting is just take from 0 to 7 star, but that's not the total overall time is that stuff is going to take you. The overall time is still super quick, but Galactic War Store characters here, they're going to take you 11 days to get to the full 330 shards if you don't get any bonus shards from anywhere else. Onto the TIE Fighter Pilot, also available in Galactic War yet again. However, it is available on Cantina, and this is one you may want to consider farming. You do get shards for TIE Fighter, at the gate to get it to 4 or 5 star, I believe it is now, which is really helpful. So you may want to consider spending some time farming the Cantina battles, maybe instead. It'll bring in you Cantina currency that you can use on other characters and stuff, and we'll start getting you the TIE Fighter shards. Because if you go for, let's say, Vader's TIE Fighter, the X1, the TIE Bomber, and the TIE Fighter, you're well on your way to being able to do the Executrix event, and then having ships to do the ability maps. But even so, it's going to be really quick if you just use the Galactic War currency. You're looking at just over 8 days. Could be quicker if you did hit both of these at the same time. It will take you obviously longer if you just were to use Cantina. And the final one for the fastest squad is Colonel Stark, who is mainly available, always available obviously in the raid store, sometimes pops up in the guild store as you can see here. But based on just the raid currency alone, 8 and a bit days to get Stark to 7 star, nice and quick. Nothing really there. So, all in all, you're probably looking at a couple of weeks to get R2D2's 7 star event up and running. But the joy is that if you're doing R2D2 stuff, you're looking at going into CLS, and CLS, you can use R2 early on in the CLS event. That's when he's not 7 stars, you just need R2 at 7 stars for the final tier. So you can obviously hit a couple of things going there with other things as well. For our best team, number 1, probably one of the most recommended teams, is the Veers Imperial Troopers teams. So this is definitely going to be, the longest of the farms that you're going to end up doing, because most of these characters are only available on hard nodes, all bar 1. So Veers available on node 4C hard on light side, so it's reasonably early enough. The other thing obviously to bear in mind is the assault battles. I haven't factored them in because it will depend on where in the month you fall, and it's also random, okay? Apart from I think your first attempt at each of the first 3 levels, it is random what 10 shards of each character you will get on each subsequent attempt of military might. And obviously as well, this requires you to get another team up and running, and that's not what we're doing this series for. We're looking at what gets us from A to B the fastest, and with it not being guaranteed, we can't factor it in. Okay. So the General Veers can take you it should take you about 99 days, which is, it's a long time, but you can obviously speed that up with spending your crystals on the refresh, the 25 refresh, and maybe the 50 refresh, but the 25 refresh is probably worth it. And also, like on my free-to-play, I actually got quite lucky where I got a bunch of shards from a Bronzium pack. So remembering to spend your ally points on your Bronzium packs is crucial for a lot of these characters as well, because they can become available in those as well, and you just don't know what you might hit. But you're looking at about 99 days for General Veers here. In a similar vein, Admiral Piet, available a little bit later on. You've got to get up to 6B hard, but same thing. I'm not going to recap it too much, but the same thing here with Admiral Piet. Is a 99-day farm, maybe a little bit quicker with your refreshers. He obviously is the commander of the Executor, which is a great capital ship to use. The whole point of this team, as well as I will note, is that this is the epitome of the Assault Battles team. This covers you for Forest Moon and Rebel Roundup. So this is the team you want. Obviously you've got Veers and Piet, which do go into Sith Eternal Emperor, but the majority of this, because these three don't go anywhere other than Assault Battles, but it's a very good Assault Battles team. It's a very good offensive team as well for your Grand Arena, so it is definitely nothing to be sniffed at. So this is your main Assault Battle focus team for those two. So on to Moff Gideon. I think Moff Gideon is one you do get shards for early on. Now I can't remember exactly how long it took my free-to-play, but you're looking at about 30 days just farming him in the Cantina store here. 30 days. I have Moff Gideon at 7 stars on my free-to-play at 4 weeks. So yes, about a month is about right for Moff Gideon. I didn't use any currency here because your currency is going to be tied up for the normal energy. Sorry, your normal energy, not currency. Normal energy is going to be tied up on the others, as we've already seen. We've already got 2 characters which will require our light side. Our normal energy. So you want to be using Cantina energy here on Moff Gideon. And obviously the joy of these compared to some of the others is you can use the currency side by side unless you're doing refreshes, depending on how fast you want to do a team. So obviously, because you can only do a certain, up to 5 battles per day for those farms, whereas Cantina you can do as many as you like. Dark Trooper is another one. It's a grind of a farm, but it is worth it. At least it's a cheap one as well. This alongside, Veers, only using 60 energy for doing 5, nice and cheap. Still going to take you up to 99 days, depending on refreshes that you do. And so, yes, Dark Trooper is another grind, but that's what's needed. And the Range Trooper as well. Similar, exactly the same thing, but only requiring 60 energy as well. I think you get 245 energy, I think. So you could refresh one if you do all 3. You could refresh one of them, or you can get others up and running faster and then go back to them. So there we go. That is the Imperial Trooper team led by General Veers that will take you through Challenge Tier 3 of both Rebel Roundup and Forest Moon. So that is a really crucial team to your roster and will get you through the R2D2 event. Our next best team, you know what, I'm going to go skip to Tier 3. This one here, which is led by Iden, because it's a very similar thing. This will get you through the Forest Moon and Rebel Roundup Assault Battle because you need Imperial Troopers. But the big advantage to this one is it is actually a very good defensive team with Iden's Omicron here for the Grand Arenas. So yeah, I mean, I don't use her very often, but as a starting point, it's not a bad starting character for you for Grand Arena. And also she's the pilot of the TIE Defender, which goes very well in the Thrawn Chimera fleet. Her node is on light side 4D here, and also she also has access on her node to the Vulture droid, which is another important farm for later on down the line. But like I say, we're not worrying about this, but it is there, so you will get some shards passively from doing this. So again, this is a 99-day farm for her. And Colonel Stark, we've already spoken about. Colonel Stark, nice and quick. He's going to take you 8 and a bit days to do. The Short Trooper, the first new one on this list here. The Short Trooper is again something that appears in assault battles, but not reliable. And you're going to get shards in about full 7 stars in about 99 days, plus some TIE Reaper shards. But you need the Death Trooper to do that as well. Magma Trooper was one we've already seen as well. Galactic War, 11 days to get the Magma Trooper to 7 star. Nice and easy there. And Snow Trooper as well, the fastest of the lot, which we saw at just under 5 days to get to 7 stars. So another assault battle team and the Grand Arena team So yeah, so this team really does hold its own. Your only consideration is it does get beaten by Whompers. Okay, so if you see a Whomper on your team, it can go on offense, but it is also really good at holding on defense unless the opponent has a Whomper. So finally, the big team here that we've got, which requires 2 journey characters that we've already spoken about in previous episodes, with Palpatine and Thrawn, requiring rebel characters. We have Darth Vader in the team here, which he will be finished in about 6 weeks as well, roughly, with achievements and the shipments you can get him on. You can get him in the Shards store. You can get him with. He will appear in the Fleet store as well. And as you can see here, quest rewards and achievement rewards as well. So yes, Vader, perfectly fine. Again, pilot of the TIE Advanced, which goes in our fleet. You have Tarkin here as well. So the only new one on this list we're going to talk about is Mara Jade. And that is because this team is mainly focused on getting to Starkiller and the Sith Eternal Emperor. So Mara Jade obviously will take you those 99 days we keep talking about, for farming this node. But she's the only one using energy in this team, so you can really use your crystals to boost the amount of time it takes you, speed it up to get her to 7-star. And seriously worth it, because you do Mara Jade and then you do the rest of the characters for Starkiller, and the Starkiller team really, you've got Palpatine already ready to go, Mara Jade for the Starkiller team, and it's a team I regret on this account not getting a lot sooner, considering how much work it puts in for me now. So yes, so definitely worthwhile. And then with regards to Sith Eternal Emperor, we've got 4 characters here, all required for Sith Eternal Emperor farming. So again, that's why it's such a good team to go for this R2D2. So obviously R2D2 will take you a little bit longer because you've got to get through Palpatine's farm. With these 2 take about 6 weeks in total. If you do that, Vader takes 6 weeks as well. You're going to be a couple of weeks later with Mara Jade. Tarkin's nice and quick, and then on to the rest of the journeys. So there we go. That is it for our little friend R2D2. Out of all the characters, what I have found is, what I think are the best ways for you to do it, and the fastest way that you can get to R2D2. So there it is. Thank you very much for watching. I hope you found this video informative and interesting, and I hope you're enjoying the series so far. Stay tuned for the rest of the episodes coming out as we are working our way through the characters. We are obviously looking at things that require, like BB-8 will be coming up, that have multiple characters to choose from. I could do things like this, which tell you, obviously you have these amount of characters, but there's no choices here. This isn't choices, this would just be information of how long it takes you to get to 7 stars and stuff. So those are not the ones we're looking at. We're looking at things like BB-8, Padme here, C-3PO, Chewbacca, things that have multiple options for you guys out there to farm. So yeah, so make sure you give a like, subscribe, notification bell, all that jazz. Comment down below if you're liking the series, as I say, and I'm really hoping to see you all in the future videos as we work our way through these tiers on up and towards the Galactic Legends. Thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you again next time. Bye bye.